chose to talk about how divorce affects children mentally because it has made me into the person that I am today. America is the leader of the world when it comes to number of divorces in a year. When a couple gets married for the first time, they have a 50% chance of getting a divorce, and that percentage is even higher after their second marriage. Even though I was pretty young at the time, I don't remember much of what I felt at the time of my parents' divorce, but I remember people not necessarily being concerned about me and my brother and how the divorce was going to affect us. I remember them just being kind of concerned about how my parents were going to get through it. I was 3 years old when my parents were divorced. I remember just kind of being confused as to which house I was going to be at on which day and who was going to come with me to my t-ball practice and things like that. I remember being just kind of embarrassed going to schooling events because I had only my mom with me or just my dad with me, and I wasn't like the other kids who had both parents with them. I find it insane how something that happened at such a young age still affects me to this day. As I grew up, I'm still dealing with some of these issues, such as having really bad trust issues with the people around me, like friendships, relationships, even my parents to this day. I struggle with anxiety and depression and have since a very young age. I struggle in school academically, and it's something that me and my brother both have, and not necessarily blaming it on the divorce, but it definitely has impacted it. And also another thing that I'm kind of scared about and always have been since I was young, I've always been kind of skeptical about getting married just because I don't want to end up like my parents did. As I was doing my research, I found most of it on the verywellfamily.com. I came to the conclusion that kids whose parents go through a divorce struggle in school, like I said. They develop mentally slower than most. They have mental health issues like eating disorders, anxiety, depression, things like that. Kids whose parents suffer through a divorce struggle with experimenting with like sex, drugs, things like that at a much earlier age rather than kids whose parents are still together. And children whose parents go through a divorce are also more likely to suffer through a divorce of their own when they get married. When I was doing my research, I wasn't necessarily surprised with what I found, just because I have several friends whose parents are divorced and I've suffered through it myself, so I kind of knew firsthand how it was going to go. So I just think it's important to check on your friends and just see how they're doing, and especially if their parents are suffering through divorce.